This is Popping the Bubble with hosts Sandra Ponce de Leon and Pete A. Turner.
Hey, this is Mahbod Moghadam from Everipedia, and you are now popping the bubble.
Nice. Welcome, Mahbod. It's so great to have you here, and your co-founder, Sam Kazmian from Everipedia. Thank you guys for joining us here today on Popping the Bubble.
Yeah, very good to be here. We also, Travis Moore is also a co-founder. He's kind of like the biggest brain in the room. And we've got some members of the team here, Angel Ordaz and Constantine Pitterman from visiting from NorCal right now, actually.
Yeah. Nice. Welcome the whole Everipedia team. Thanks for joining us today. So, Mahbod, I'd love to just start with you. You are a pretty controversial figure. You are a pretty controversial figure here in Silicon Valley. Had a number of run-ins, Twitter feud. You've had a lot of controversy surrounding you. And you've also recently, or you were a survivor of a brain tumor, which is amazing. So I'd love to just kind of hear from you, like, what are some of those learnings that you've had in recent years? What have these experiences taught you?
Well, a lot of people think I'm a bad person, and I swear, I promise you, I'm not a bad person. You can ask these guys. I'm actually a very friendly. Part of my job is trolling on the internet, so I think a lot of my trolling and a lot of my tongue-in-cheek stuff gets me into trouble. In my Rap Genius era, my trolling is a big part of what made the site explode and get to 50 million monthly users before I left. But then it started to get me into a lot of trouble too. And it's because I didn't know when to cut it out. I would take things too far, and I did a lot of things that I obviously deeply regret. And yeah, having the tumor there, I hate to make excuses, but that was probably messing up some of my shit too. Mm-hmm. So one thing that's cool about Everipedia is that now I'm kind of the grown-up. Everyone else on the team is in their 20s. And I'm kind of I'm the Bachman. I'm the old man, sketchy old guy. So it's made me think a little bit more. It's kind of like when you have kids, now that I have kids.
You have to set a good example.
Exactly. Hopefully I haven't, this is probably the longest streak I've gone of not doing anything that was, newsworthy for being stupid in my entire life.
We can break the streak today, dude. You and me. Let's do it.
I'm actually getting kind of bored. Maybe I have to write an article how to steal from Safeway or something.
Well, I love that one of the interviews I saw, you mentioned whenever you're getting angry at anyone, you transfer that anger and write really nice things about them on their Everipedia page.
Yeah, I know. It's very, very good form of therapy. I'm hoping others will join me too, because you're adding to knowledge. And also the crazy thing is when you make someone's Everipedia, it's impossible not to like them, because no one in the whole world is all bad. Kara Swisher, she's probably my least favorite person in the whole world, but still, look at all the amazing things she's done. Mm-hmm.
Do you think it goes both ways?
Hopefully she sees a little bit of good in me. Maybe if she got a verified account on Everipedia and she added some stuff to my wiki, maybe she would read my Whole Foods article and chuckle and be like, okay, maybe this guy's not all bad.
That's cool. So Everipedia, you mentioned it. We don't know much about it yet, but do you see this as an extension of the work that you were doing with Rap Genius?
Well, I'm very interested in knowledge projects for sure. Wikipedia has been a passion of mine ever since I started getting into the internet. And one thing that's cool, so Sam, who Everipedia was his brainchild, he took a lot of inspiration from Rap Genius as well. He really wants to meet my former co-founders.
Is that going to happen?
Well, let's hope, right? Well, you know them better than me, right?
Yeah, whenever I take a trip to NYC, he's like, so did you make peace with Tom and Alon? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, Daddy, are you getting back together with my...
That's so funny. Well, tell us about Everipedia. What's it all about?
Yeah, so this is Sam. Originally, it was basically one of the projects that me and my friend Teddy, who's now in Sweden, were working on. It was basically wanted to make something where any page about anything could be put up. And one of the main things that makes Wikipedia so hard to compete against is they already have all of this vast amount of knowledge. basically any page about anything that you think is historical or is a big deal is already on there. So it's really hard to compete with them starting from scratch. So one of the ideas that me and my friend Teddy originally had was, what if we just make a website that has all of Wikipedia on it, and then you can build on top of it? The things that Wikipedia might not let you put up, people who they don't think are famous enough, or startups that aren't really big enough to have a page yet, or even things that are breaking in news that Wikipedia might take down because they don't think it's historically significant enough. What if you just had all of the building blocks that Wikipedia has, all of these pages that they link to and have already created, and then you just build a larger encyclopedia on top of that? And, Wikipedia's motto is the sum total of human knowledge, and basically we wanted to kind of like take that one step further and really make it sum total of everything, as long as it's cited, as long as it's scholarly. And basically what happened is it was something I was working on my senior year of UCLA, and I graduated last year. And Mahbod was giving talks at UCLA and around, SoCal and stuff. And one time I came up to him after his talk and I showed him his actual Everipedia page that I'd made. He didn't have a Wikipedia page, and he thought that it was really cool. And I still remember it because I didn't think he would think it was that cool. But right after the talk, I think he went online and signed up and started doing a whole bunch of stuff on it. And when I saw that he was like using the site and stuff, I was like, oh my God, I think he actually really likes it and stuff. After that, we were talking and, going back and forth, and, he still thinks this could be something as big as Facebook, just like the very first time I showed it to him. And basically Travis, who was our mutual friend of Teddy and mine, came on board pretty fast, and that was how everything started. It was basically a project of mine and a friend of mine's, and it just went from there since last year, since I graduated UCLA, and it's been growing really, really fast since then.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. So you mentioned some of the issues with Wikipedia, which I wasn't necessarily familiar with. What are some of those differentiators that Everipedia allows that Wikipedia doesn't?
Yeah, so Wikipedia is great. It's basically a household name, just like Facebook, and one of the sites that I use the most too. But it's interesting to think about a few things. Like, one is no one actually knows any one of their friends that actually actively put stuff on Wikipedia daily, like they would put stuff up on Facebook. I've asked hundreds of people, and I think the tally is now two. Two out of like hundreds of people that I've asked actually even know someone that's like, yeah, I think my friend has used it before a fairly number of times to put stuff up. The other thing is, it has a lot of good stuff on it, but I never understood why you couldn't build on top of, just make pages for things that, as long as they're easy to cite and whatnot, why you can't make pages for yourself, or, for a startup that's not as big as Uber or something, right? And so basically the whole concept of Everipedia is, why not make pages for people, for things, or for anything using Wikipedia as a base? And what's interesting is Wikipedia used Britannica to start out. They used one of the older copies of Britannica that wasn't copyrighted anymore, I think. And so basically we're trying to do the same thing, but with Wikipedia.
Is there any issues with that, actually building on top of Wikipedia content, or is that all?
I think we have to give attribution, which every page we basically import from them has. As far as I'm aware, they're Creative Commons, which is a very, very open license to use. So we've definitely 100% followed their rules of attribution, and that, the original version of the page is from Wikipedia, but you can build on top of it and read it and edit it on Everipedia.
Yeah, Facebook, a lot of people don't know, but Facebook actually has all of Wikipedia built into it as well.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
If you go to Napoleon Bonaparte's Facebook page, it comes up, but it's not a page that anyone created for him. It's actually just an import of the Wikipedia.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they have all those pages for notable people where they extract that wiki article. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's most of the time a little stub that they have. Like Facebook is a little stub of the actual main Wikipedia article.
That's right.
It's interesting for what we are trying to do, because in many ways we want to have long articles and tiny, maybe a short version of them. so that, because I've noticed that people sometimes on their mobile phones just want to get to the information. As long as the citing is there, it's almost like a meme, you know.
Are you guys also using some annotation technology? I know that Mahbod, you were big on annotations from your Rap Genius days.
Well, so annotation is interesting, but one issue I always noticed at Rap Genius is sometimes people just want information about the song or the artist as a whole. So like close reading is kind of, it might be too smart for some people, and not everything needs to be read closely.
So you don't think that Rap Genius is going to become the social fabric for the internet?
I think Rap Genius is a very, very valuable tool, but I'm pretty much positive that Everipedia is going to be way, way bigger. This solves a way bigger problem. You know, we're trying to fry some bigger fish here.
So one of the questions I have is if you're going to upload the Wikipedia information, a lot of that, there's not a lot of respect for the quality of the information on Wikipedia. Are you guys taking something that's at least perceived as being an inferior quality and building your product on top of it?
Well, we have a lot of respect for Wikipedia. Like, you know, just because like I'm into rap, like sometimes I'm trying to start rap beef. So I'll be like, you know, F Wikipedia. But Sam actually gets mad at me because he's, you know, he loves Wikipedia. That's why he's trying to build the new, better version of it.
Well, you guys love it, and I love it. I use it a lot, but a lot of people think that the information, like it's a joke. Like, oh, did you go to Wikipedia to find that out? It's not seen as a verifiable, reputable source by a lot of people.
You're talking about the credibility of the
Exactly,
contributors.
of the contributors, yes.
What's interesting is we had one guy who invested in our WeFunder, and he's a really cool guy, Akim, from Germany. And he has like major beef with German Wikipedia. He says like, you know, it's been taken over by the communists and whatnot. A lot of people who have major problems with Wikipedia are coming into our community, and they see this as something that could be a viable alternative. The big problem with Wikipedia's credibility might be that so few people are editing it, whereas we're hoping to someday have, you know, millions and millions of people editing.
This is Angel. Speaking of the editors on Wikipedia, we hope that one day, and I'm pretty sure this is probably going to happen, is that the editors of particular pages will look what we've done on Everipedia for what they've written, and that they either contact us, tell us, hey, like, you know, I'm the original writer of this, and we would love for them to like be involved as well, continue adding to the page as well, because if they don't do it, then other people will. You know, like there's a lot of pages on like musicians, products, things like that, and there will be people who want to accommodate a sense of how to explain the article better, how to add content to it. So,
do you have something like a reputation score?
Yeah, so that's actually a lot of where we're taking ideas and inspiration from Mahbod's past work at Genius. So one of the cool things we're doing is there's IQ, which is similar but a little bit different to how it's implemented on Everipedia, which is basically a score of how much valuable information you add to the actual site, and it's site-wide. The other thing that's interesting is, unlike Wikipedia, the top editors for each page and topic are listed right there on the page. So it's kind of similar to Rap Genius in that you can see who has actually done a lot of work on that page, and then see who that person is. It's very transparent. And then the other interesting thing that, you know, this was Mahbod's original idea that he brought with him on the team was we have verified editor accounts, which have like, you know, the blue check mark, and we have famous people who want to, you know, edit different topics on the site and basically opine on topics that they're very, very, you know, knowledgeable on. That's something very unique that's kind of has the same feel as, you know, Rap Genius, where someone's annotating their own song. Snoop Dogg's telling you what he was thinking at a certain line in his song.
Yeah, we're actually talking to Snoop Dogg about it right now, and he hasn't gotten a verified account yet. Mm-hmm. People told us that he's actually very frustrated by his own Wikipedia page.
Really? Wow.
I don't know if you know this, but it's a rule of Wikipedia that you're not allowed to edit your own page.
Oh, I had no idea.
even if the stuff that you're writing is 100% accurate, it's still against their rules for you or your publicist or anything like that to edit your own page.
Interesting.
So we have, you have verified accounts, so Snoop Dogg can not only edit his own page, but you see which edits are coming from Snoop Dogg. And he can have a conversation with the other people who are editing his page as well, turn it into more of a social experience.
The social experience is something that has to do with the style of how a wiki is now written. So, we've gotten used to how a Wikipedia page is written through their, encyclopedic form. Now, not only do we add to the content, but it can also be that there's also much more of an experience that you could have while writing a new or adding to the wiki page that's already available. So this allows for people to even discover new ways of writing an encyclopedic article where, people in the community are involved in the subject. So yesterday it was yesterday or 2 days ago, we had a member from this militia group from Oregon who was one of the people who were arrested during the standoff 6 months ago. Came in, he signed up for an account, and he added to his own page. But what he added was something that was a historical, political idea or ideology, something that has to do with the Constitution. And he added it to his page, and there's nothing, he didn't really change much after that. In fact, I had to go in and make some edits because the wiki was kind of, there was some editing I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't figured out how to do citations and stuff.
I see.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting experience that we're slowly having with all of these pages that are available.
How do you handle just the sheer volume of stuff that you have to account for and something like that? So the Haney County standoff, there's actually a podcast where they talk to the people that run the emergency management part that dealt with the planning and the reaction to the protesters. How do you even know that something like that is out there? How do you grab the other details so you can give a more balanced approach? I mean, it's one thing to have an egocentric or a political view, but you guys have a greater responsibility than that.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
We have discovered that the best way is to be as neutral as possible. We always focus on writing the articles. It has to be objective. Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing.
Right. I think it's interesting because, Facebook recently, there's this controversy of them shutting down the live stream while a woman was in conflict with the police and ended up getting killed. So you guys, you obviously have to address the issue of censorship, which is a big issue for the community and free speech. I mean, how have you thought about those questions and, from a philosophical point of view?
Yeah, so my name is Constantine.
Hi, Constantine.
Hi, Constantine.
I'm the UC Berkeley campus representative. So you mentioned free speech, and that's a perfect time to chime in.
Mm-hmm.
I joined almost a year ago. Mahbod put out a status on Facebook asking for university representatives. So similar to how Facebook reached out to the Ivies before they expanded everywhere,
mm-hmm.
I saw a similar vision. I really saw the verification of academics in the encyclopedia as something that could really grow. But could you repeat your question though, as far as the...
have you guys gotten into the philosophical debate of what are you going to do in a situation like that might hinder free speech because the person maybe has a different point of view? I mean, have you guys thought about, there's also controversy around Google recently and the search results that they're showing with regards to Hillary and that being a jaded search result. So have you guys thought about how you're going to address those issues?
Yeah, there's been actually this is Angel speaking, there's been several pages that we've made. I don't know if you guys heard about, there was a school in Florida that had quite a tremendous thing that happened where this one girl had sex with a bunch of guys in the bathroom. And we covered that, and the whole entire media, they wanted to get a hold of the video. And, we're dealing with censorship there, and so we didn't know what the best move was. We didn't know if we did get a hold of the video, should we put it up? Recently, we were also talking about whether it would be a good idea to have a page about the WikiLeaks, the emails for Clinton,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whether an anonymous source can be reliable, because certain issues, you might not be able to report using your name if you're in a heavily policed state or censored state. And so maybe you can only report it anonymously, but then it removes some accountability from the reporter. So everything we do, you can see the editor who is doing it. And so that to us is kind of an interesting dilemma that we are having ongoing debates about whether or not anonymous reporting is reliable. But at the very least, we can host it and show the link to the source of it. And people can make their own conclusion about whether or not it's reliable.
Interesting.
How do you monetize this?
We have banner ads up on the site right now, and basically just trying to make enough money to cover our costs so that we don't have to be, too desperate to raise money or anything like that. We want to keep our leverage and keep our independence. But the dream is someday to have very, very sophisticated native advertising, just like how Facebook does. And that's going to come in the form of a See Also section. So every single page is going to have a See Also section, just like how Wikipedia does. And then brands will pay us to have their company's pages featured in the See Also section. So like, for example, imagine if you just started a new energy drink, how much would you pay to be on Coke and Red Bull's Wikipedia pages? And we're going to make that into something that you can actually do.
Hey, Pete, this is so exciting. We have our first podcast sponsor.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Made Moments. Tell us about it.
Made Moments designs elegant gift boxes to enable you to show your appreciation to your prospects, customers, or even your employees.
Oh, that's super cool. So we got one of them. Can you tell us what it looked like?
We did. It had champagne and chocolate and
That's
2
a home
champagne flutes. I know.
This just in. If you want to get Sandra's attention in a good way, champagne and chocolate before you get in
Definitely. And it even had our logo on it.
trouble. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So can they do like seasonal things too?
They can. They can do seasonal holiday gifts. They can also produce boxes with your corporate logo and branding on them and include anything that you want in there.
In my line of work, I try to build relationships based on trust, on love, and it's something like this where you can go the extra mile. It's more than just an email. It's more than a thank you card. It's just something.
That's right. It's creating a memorable experience. And we all know that business is about relationships.
How do we find out more about Made Moments?
Find out more by going to mademoments.com or shooting them an email at info@mademoments. So you guys are all living in the same house here. What do you guys do
We
for fun?
Ewok pretty. So
You what?
is one of our lingo words. That means sitting there and adding content to the site, and it comes from the guy who has the highest IQ on Rap Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Is this dude who lives in San Diego named Ewok Abdevito.
Okay.
So we decided, Ewoking means contributing and just trying to rack up the IQ. So we Ewok pretty hard, and even all of the fun that we do is kind of centered around the team and centered around promoting Everipedia. One thing that is required by one of the MVPs of the team is not here, actually, Christian. He's our iOS guy, and he's also Ewoking chief. And he needs to dance once a week. So basically he's like, listen, I'm making your site blow up. I'm going to Ewok. I'm going to build your app, but you need to take me dancing once a week.
Nice. Yeah. Gotta let it out.
You should take him to WPLJ's in Walnut Creek because that's where you go cougar hunting.
I'm sorry?
WPLJ's is like this dance club in Walnut Creek, and you can go cougar hunting there. So if he wants to go dancing, take him there.
You like cougars?
Oh, man.
You guys like cougars?
We're applying to Y Combinator, so when we move up north, we'll definitely be hitting up. Yeah, there's one place in Palo Alto too. I'm forgetting the name. The BBC.
Pete can take you.
Yeah, we'll line up shots.
That's the Palo Alto kind of cougar spot. But we're just all about dancing. We'll go to a party and no one's on the dance floor. And then suddenly you have the entire Everipedia team on the dance floor and just we're cutting a rug.
Nice. I got to see some moves. Angel looks like he's got some rhythm.
We need the release. When you're working as hard as we believe that we're working on this site that's going to be the next Facebook. It's going to revolutionize the internet. Someday everyone's going to be talking about check out my wiki, check out my company's wiki.
So what do you call it? Check out my what?
My
Everipedia page?
My
My
yeah, what's the short name?
Your Ewok?
Yeah, you got Ewok. That's great. I'm Ewoking. Okay, cool. But yeah, what's my page called? You got to go to my Everipedia page. That's not going to work.
Yeah, some people say, why do you call it a wiki? So maybe we should start calling it my Every.
You guys talk about how you're killing it. You're working hard. You're making the next Facebook. Two-part question. One, you've said that before in the past about Facebook. So how do we get past the credibility thing of saying, well, you can't keep saying that? And then the other thing is what does working hard look like? Give us an idea what a day in the life is for you guys when you're really, when you're working your hardest.
No, good point taken. Well, yesterday we were making, Angel put a lot of work into Sandra's page.
Thank you, Angel. I like my page.
Wow. Oh, I got to check this thing out.
Now, well, hopefully it's not good that you like your page. Hopefully the desired reaction.
Well, there were some shots that I might take down.
Yeah, we want you to be like, my page is decent, but I can make it better. So I got to jump on here and I got to
definitely. But thank you for the good foundation.
So yeah, we're making pages for either things that we think will get a lot of traffic, stuff that's trending or in the news, or stuff that we think we could get someone important's attention. Pages for businesses or anything that we think that they would be willing to link to it from their sites is another big focus of ours. Pages for anyone who we think would be interested in joining the community. So.
Yeah, me and Christian try to devote about a quarter of the day to the actual iOS development. He's working on like the phone side and kind of the back end, the framework, really kind of working on the front end side of it. And I noticed you have an Apple Watch. And I was going to ask you what kind of your main uses for it?
My main uses for my watch, I use it to work out, so I like to track my fitness on it. I also like it when I'm driving and I've got the Google Maps going, and so it gives me the little taptic nod. What else do I use it for? I mean, obviously getting messages and notifications on it makes things really easy just to be able to look at my watch. But I have found it's an interesting social dynamic with the watch that, I've been in meetings before where everybody in the meeting is on their phone and texting and whatever while the meeting is happening. But however, when you go and look at a message on your watch and you're with someone, that notion of looking at your watch is, the societal definition or standard for that is that, are you done? Oh, are you ready to leave now? What time is it? I guess it's like the meeting's over, So I've gotten that response a lot from people like, oh, wait, all of a sudden now are you done with me? But like I can look at my phone as much as I want and nobody thinks that. So I think that there's just some interesting social norms that will have to change if, there's more adoption of the wearables.
Yeah, we're interested in maybe having like a trending page or maybe push notifications to you. That's something that particularly to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Reading people actually are doing other watches. So it's something.
Yeah, definitely. I think everything you guys are doing really appeals to that ego, right? That, wanting to stroke the ego and, oh, look, I'm somewhat famous because now I've got an Everipedia page. And what if somebody adds to it? Yeah, I mean, it definitely would, for me, it would definitely make me come back to my page and check out what someone added.
This is Mahbod, by the way. I wanted to address the credibility you brought up in question number 1.
Yeah, please.
So the way that our citations work is everything has to be cited from internet URL. It's not like Wikipedia where you can cite some random ass book that like is not even available at the library. So Everipedia is truly just an aggregator. Everything on our site, if you're obeying our rules, is also somewhere else on the internet. So we're not, except the only exception being if you're famous and you have a verified account, we allow you to self-cite. So we allow celebrities to use the site as a primary source, but everyone else, everything that's on our pages is coming from somewhere else, and you can click the link to the citation right there and see where it's coming from immediately. So if there's an issue with credibility, it's, you can take it up with the citation. You can go to the website or blog or whatever it is that is being cited on Everipedia and see why they're saying.
So let's say that I want to use a podcast. On my other show, we've had Positive K. He's a rapper. And I want to take a moment of that time when he says, I'm the greatest rapper of all time, or whatever it is that he says. Do I reference the entire show so that someone has to go in and look for 45 minutes to find that note that he says? Or how do you address something like that where, and you guys know, you guys have educations when you do, some kind of citation system, it's not that big. It's very specific on where you can find this element of the citation.
Yeah, sometimes with actual videos, we give time markers for the significant event, like 6 minutes, this is when the shooting occurs. So it might be a 12-minute video of the confrontation, but we will even give like a time mark. And sometimes it's even included in the URL. So YouTube lets you send videos at a specific time. You check the box, and if you put share more right underneath the video, you can try it later. So yeah, we give people exact times in videos sometimes. And hopefully we get to train more people to do that.
We try to be as accurate as possible, but one thing I don't think anyone would deny is this is a major, major improvement over Wikipedia's citation model. Because on Wikipedia, a lot of times the whole article will be cited from some random out-of-print book. No one can even get their hands on it, so you can just say whatever you want and pretend that you're getting it from this source that's not available. So at least all of our sources have to be available instantly at your fingertips. So it makes it a little bit, it makes a great deal easier to actually verify and fact check the information that you find.
Angel here, some of the links that we found in certain pages, like, that redirect to, supposedly are supposed to direct to a citation or something. Some of those URLs don't exist anymore, especially for old Wikipedia pages. So that's one of the reasons this is good work, because it allows people to sort of reestablish the source, where now you're going to have to write it in a different way because that source is no longer available. So you have to find it somewhere else. Like, let's say somebody is covering a page about, like, today's the anniversary of Nagasaki. So let's say somebody is trying to reference that, or let's say somebody already referenced it with a link that Wikipedia used like 3 years ago, and that link or URL is no longer available. Well, we're going to have to find another citation for that. Like, that's like something that's really important to us, like to make sure that it's legit.
Yeah, there's also a social element where you can upvote and downvote citations. So more reputable ones will end up at the top of the search, at the bottom of the article, at the top of the citations. And you can comment on them too, so it's social, like Reddit, similar. So it takes all these elements from all these very successful internet models and combines them into one. And I like to make the comparison @ symbol, Gmail, Yahoo, everyone had to use the same @ symbol. There's certain like symbols that are universal in the internet, and everyone really tries to appeal to the universal symbols that are understood in other forms of social media.
What about hashtags?
Yeah, we don't have hashtags yet, Sam.
What the hell, Sam? Jesus.
Yeah, no, that's something we definitely should look into including in the actual article. Yeah, you're right.
Well, one of the things we've done in the past is we've created pages with a hashtag.
Is that more searchable somehow on Google search?
Like there's basically trending hashtags that were big enough in the news and on social media that we made a page whose topic was the actual hashtag. Like one of the ones that was really big was Bernie Sanders, when like for an entire week, I don't know if you so it was huge, and everyone was like looking for like more information on that and stuff, and that was one of the first pages we had that was like about an actual trending hashtag. So I mean, people that Googled it would probably see, like Googled it with the hashtag would probably see that page on Everipedia much higher. So.
But for now, hashtags don't actually serve a semantic function on Everipedia yet, but they should. So we should figure out something that you putting hashtags into a wiki maybe links it to other relevant pages or whatever. So that's a good idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Co-founder.
Well, I know you guys are also going through, I have so many questions actually now. I'd love to know who's the most famous person that is a contributor to Everipedia?
Larry Sanger. Yeah, it was a great honor to us that right after we started the site, the founder of Wikipedia, Larry Sanger, got an account. And he made a lot of really excellent pages. He even came and visited us. He lives in Ohio. And he came and kicked it with us for a week. And it was awesome. The first thing that he edited was Everipedia's page on Wikipedia. So like how meta
Wow.
is that? The founder of Wikipedia
That
is editing the Wikipedia's Everipedia page on.
That's amazing.
He's the man. Shout out to Larry. You know, he's
Yeah, we love
truly he's kind of like the patron saint of Everipedia.
Nice. You're also going through a WeFunder campaign. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's an amazing platform. I've been friends with Mike Norman for years. Finally using what he's built. Just the software is it's so easy to invest. It takes 5 minutes to invest, and you can invest as little as $100.
What does that get me?
It gets you equity. It's at a $22 million valuation right now. It uses the SAFE, which is what most investors use to invest in YC companies. Mm-hmm. So it's as if you're a YC angel investor, except, in YC, usually the smallest check anyone will write is $5,000 or $10,000. Whereas here you can even give as little as $100.
And does that vest right away, or do I still have to go through a vesting cycle?
I'm sorry?
Is that already vested, or do I have to go through a vesting cycle like I would?
Vesting is for if you're employed. This is if you're investing.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you get it right away. The only thing is the SAFE is actually an agreement for future equity. So it's a legal fiction, but the legal fiction of it is that you're actually giving a loan that's going to be repaid for equity when the company does an equity round of fundraising, or if it has an exit.
And since you guys are going to be the next Facebook, really?
Yeah, well, not just WeFunder people, but also investors. We've pitched plenty of people who haven't given us money. And I always just want to start smack the person in the face. Are you insane? This is going to be huge. How do you not see it?
And then they also passed up on Genius.
The best is we've pitched a couple of guys, wonderful, wonderful guys who passed me up for Rap Genius. It's all right, you passed me up for Rap Genius, which blew up and it's huge now.
What's the valuation of Rap Genius these days?
I'm not allowed to say, but
okay.
It's really high. The last person who invested in it is Eminem. So and Eminem has the second highest Eminem IQ on the site, which means he's sitting there annotating all of his lyrics. So
amazing.
Tell the rest of this, and then they passed up on everything.
Yeah. So it's you passed up on Rap Genius, and now you're gonna pass up on Everipedia. So then when this becomes a huge thing. My third company is just going to be a straight up Ponzi scheme. Get some of these people to invest in number 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's smart. Yeah. Because they're going to be we missed out on the first 2. We've got to give them some money this time.
So it's the rule of 3s, not showing our stocks about it. That's going to be the punchline. The punchline is the Ponzi scheme.
I like it. You're creating FOMO to build a Ponzi scheme. It's genius. It's I'm going to take all this time and have the greatest Ponzi scheme of all time. My Ponzi scheme is going to be bigger than Facebook.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, this team that I'm working with are such committed people. Sam and Travis truly do not give a shit about money. Travis is already rich, but these guys do not give a shit about money. The reason they're making this site is because they want to revolutionize human knowledge. They basically want to build the human brain. And then meanwhile, you've got me on the team. And the only reason I'm here is just I want to get the company to pay for my food. I want to troll people. So I'm just totally the bad influence.
Do you still see Twitter as a main marketing vehicle for Everipedia?
Well, these days we're even more team Facebook. So the reason why Sam was supposed to go to med school, Travis too, actually. Both of these guys were supposed to go to med school, but the reason why Sam decided to become a software developer is he saw the social network to work full-time on Rap Genius, by the way.
You guys had the same inspiration.
Yeah. So he is basically the biggest Zuck worshiper. And, we showed you that in the office we have all the flags of the world. Eventually we want to get just a gargantuan photo of Zuck and just put it up here.
The altar of Zuck.
Altar of Zuck.
Yeah, we see Facebook taking over. I think Facebook can do what Google does better than Google. They can do what Twitter does better than Twitter. So I think you're just going to see Facebook step in and eat everybody else's lunch. And the reason is Zuck. It's because this guy is the most driven. He's the most driven CEO of all time. And he's going to just run the whole internet. And then we've got Persian Zuck right here. So this is the next iteration.
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
Zuck
here we just love Zuck. I always joke about this, but I'm half serious. Like, if there was one person that should rule the entire world and I would be completely okay with it, it would be Zuck. Like, he is the best fit person in my opinion.
Interesting. Zuck for president.
Yeah, exactly. Please, somebody who can do something.
Help us, save us, please.
I used to have beef with him just because he went to Harvard and I went to Yale, but he dropped out of Harvard. So in a sense, that's like him signaling how much Harvard sucks.
Are you guys on good terms now?
I don't know. I don't know if he would ever be able to forgive me, but I definitely regret pissing him off because, like, you know, how depressing it is it?
Were there any repercussions of that from him or on Facebook?
I don't know. He has a verified account on Rap Genius, but still hasn't annotated anything. And I remember when, like, I put up all of Thucydides' speeches for him to annotate because, like, we were told that he's obsessed with the classics.
Now, who is this?
Thucydides.
Thucydides. Is this one of the Stoics?
He's like the historian for that era.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, apparently the way to appeal to Zuck is through the classics. So that's how we tried to get him to annotate. He hasn't annotated anything yet, but he does have a verified account on Rap Genius. And hopefully someday when these guys kick me out, he'll get a verified account on Everipedia too.
Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, is there an over-under on your kick-out date? Should we set one right now?
We got to start a pool.
Yeah, we need a parlay bet board at that house. If you guys are really doing this right, you know, how many days till there's a potential blow up across the board? You know, when's Sam gonna do the next thing that he does that's silly? You guys need to have some of that going on.
Well, Sam's been saying a lot of corporate ass stuff lately.
Like what?
Well,
It's one of the things he doesn't say now.
No, I mean, the original thing we would joke about is this is thugwikipedia.com. We even have the domain and it redirects to Everipedia. But like we try to keep it at heart though. Like honestly, no matter how like corporate or big, you know, we try to just have fun with it. And Mahbod always tries to make me feel bad because like sometimes I say like some stuff he says is a bit over the line or something, and you know we're just a good check though. He makes sure it continues to be fun and entertaining, and maybe I am getting corporate mob. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it's easy to be thugs when it's just the founders, but now that we have a team of 8 people
and 100 investors.
Yeah. So yeah, the investors.
That's true.
So it's definitely gonna start getting more corporate, but I shouldn't be working full time anyways. Like after I left Rap Genius, my plan was to retire. And the only reason I got into working on Everipedia full time is because I truly believe that this is going to be the next Facebook and it's going to revolutionize the internet. But it's taking a toll on me. It's really, really tough for me to be doing this as a full-time job. So as it starts to get corporate and get its wings, you know, I'm definitely not integral to the operation. I think that to some extent, I've already served my purpose. I was here just to get going and to get us traction. But now that we have that, we have, you know, Sam and Travis are the ones who are managing everything day to day. And they're both, aside from being absolutely amazing developers, they really understand human psychology. They understand management. You know, they've read the hard thing about hard things. So when you're investing in Everipedia, that's who you're really investing in is Sam, and I think it's a really good investment. You know, I'm investing my health and my time, and also even a bit of my money into it. So I think everyone else should.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself.
So if you are trying to be retired, first off, you suck at it apparently, and then 2, what do you have to have a hobby. You have to have something you do. Yeah. So what do you do when you're not trolling?
Yeah, no, I spent the 1 year that I was in between Everipedia and Rap Genius, I learned 6 different pieces by Bach.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
on the piano.
I for 1 year I didn't touch the piano. I've been working on Everipedia for a full year now without touching the piano. But then this month I finally relented and I learned a new piece, which is, I'm sure it's pissing these dudes off because it's like, why are you working at your stupid keyboard instead of working at your other keyboard?
I play piano too. He put me on to Bach. First phone call, I mentioned I was a music minor at Cal. He praised Bach, and he really is amazing. Like he himself revolutionized the tuning system. he took like the 12th root of 2 to the power of each interval so that distance between notes would be the same. And it's a system that we largely still use today. So really what he did to music is not like comparable to what Newton did to physics.
Do you guys know who Dr. Robert Greenberg is? That guy creates so much content, and he's so he is like the Neil deGrasse Tyson for literate music, a treasure trove of stuff. We've actually got a couple shows with him, but you guys for sure need to talk to that guy and have him guiding where you guys put your classical music stuff on Everipedia, because he is the man, and he's awesome. And he's a local guy, too, so I can get you guys in contact with him. But
awesome. Well, we'll make his page right away, for sure.
You know, he's not hard to find either. He's got probably 700 hours of programming that he's created in content, and it's all based on music.
What's his name?
Dr. Robert Greenberg.
Former UC Berkeley professor as well for music.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a totally selfish guy. All I want in life is I want to have a 6-pack, and I want to play the complete works of Bach.
How's that going for you? The first one.
Oh, well, gym is kind of required. That's the only break we take from work, is afternoons from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's gym time.
That's good. Got to keep it healthy.
That's a big part of the reason. Like, you know, for a while we thought about moving the office to San Francisco, or at least moving it to like Venice.
Where are you guys based now?
We're across the street from UCLA.
Okay.
And the two reasons are, A, Sam is kind of the big man on campus, at least among the developer community. Like, everyone knows he's a genius, but also we're all just addicted to the UCLA gym. It's like the coolest gym of
The
all
neighborhood's not bad either. Brentwood, Hollywood, you know, that's not a bad neighborhood to be in.
Well, it's kind of bad if you're a startup, just because it's on the expensive side. But then again, I don't know why Venice became the startup mecca of LA, considering that's the only part of LA that's even more expensive than where we are. So
Yeah, Snapchat's kind of taking over there.
Yeah, and Facebook is supposed to build a new campus, actually. So, I mean, we can't wait for it to become like literally Silicon Beach. Now people, you know, talk about it, but you know, we always joke like we should go to the Bay, and then because you know all of us really like being there in that atmosphere and stuff, and then come back once everything is built here. You know what I mean? Once Facebook builds their SoCal HQ, and then Snapchat, you know, grows twice as big, and it really feels like, you know, the tech space here is like matured.
Right. Well, it's been really great having you guys on here. Any closing thoughts, or, you know, what's the...
It's going to blow up. It's blowing up. You know, you can see our graph on our Alexa, that it just keeps on getting traffic, and we see it as an inexorable beast. So if anyone wants to get involved in the site, please contact me. Check out the WeFunder too. Join us. You know, if enough people see the vision, because it's an amazing idea. All it needs is a community.
Yeah, thank you for having us. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, join the movement.
Also, first project, we have to make your wiki today, and then also Dr. Greenberg.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been a great conversation. So fun to learn about what you guys are doing.
And let's check back in with you guys, too. We want to be a part of you guys' growth. We want to be your platform.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye.